Futura is a collaborative learning game that runs on a multi-touch digital tabletop where kids and adults can explore and experience the challenges of sustainable urban planning. The main research goal driving the project is to investigate the emerging design space of collaborative multi-touch tabletop games for learning, in order to better understand key factors for success as well as identify design challenges. In this video, we discuss the design goals and features of Futura. People often have misconceptions about what is involved to create a sustainable future. Sustainable development planning is a complex problem, and there are no easy answers. For example, choices and decisions often have lasting and unforeseen effects on the environment and the way people live and work. Sometimes, meeting the needs of both humans and the environment is not possible. With Futura, our goal is to give children and adults a chance to experience what it is like to have to plan for a sustainable future. In doing so, Futura supports people becoming more aware of the complex balancing act needed to plan for sustainable land use in an urban environment. Each Futura game is very short, only 3 minutes long. At the end of each game, players are given feedback about how well they did and some advice on how to do better in the future. Futura responds to failure with learning opportunities and challenges players to do better each time they play. The game also provides in-game feedback in the form of semi-random events that reflect how well players are doing. In this way, Futura supports the desired learning outcomes regardless of whether or not the players win. In Futura, losing advances the learning outcomes, and winning doesn't occur until the learning outcomes are achieved. Players of Futura have to learn how to meet the needs of an ever-increasing population in the game world without endangering the health of the environment. They do this by building power plants, housing, and farms to provide for their people. Multi-touch interaction enables the kind of fast-paced activity required to provide for the people while time quickly passes. Players touch land use types like carbon-burning power plants or community farms to learn more about them. They can drag them onto the map to build them. If they are not careful, the choices they make can have serious consequences. The persistent nature of the game pressures players to act, while giving them opportunities to see how their decisions affect the world over time. Players win the game if they can meet the needs of both people and the environment. Land use planning is a challenge that needs to be solved by many people working together. In Futura, players take on the role of important decision makers, responsible for providing people with food, shelter, and energy for a specific region. Each player is responsible for his or her own individual play, but all the players must work together in order to succeed, much like real-life decision makers. To encourage collaborative play, the individual scores of the players are combined into a single global impact. Players standing around the tabletop can see what the other players are doing and can coordinate their efforts to win the game. If one player is doing poorly, other players can work with him to improve the overall group's outcome. For example, if 2 of the 3 players figure out how to win, but the third player keeps making poor land use choices, all 3 of them will lose. It is up to the 2 players who have figured out how to balance a supportive population and a healthy environment to teach the third player if they want to win. They can do this through showing an example, giving a verbal explanation, or by reaching over to help out. A successful game for learning is active, fun, and engaging, and it provides players with opportunities to reflect on what they are learning about. In Futura, the learning is embedded in the play experience, so that as players get better at playing, they also get better at thinking about the challenges of sustainable development. We provide opportunities to reflect during the game with world events that stop the action and reflect what's happening in the game, and at the end of the game through summaries that tell players how they did. Players have opportunities to both play and reflect throughout the game. For example, if the world is healthy and happy, players might see an event such as endangered species saved. While if the world is polluted, players will see events such as mudslides or forest fires. These events and the designed repetition provide players with opportunities to reflect on their decisions and choices. In addition to the overt visual elements such as icons and game board, Futura incorporates a level of ambient feedback. When players are performing well, the game world is healthy, and the music is happy. However, if the players start to damage the environment, the colors of the map become more muted, and the music becomes ominous. Futura is designed to work with the unique properties of the multi-touch tabletop computer. A tabletop system allows multiple people to interact with the game simultaneously. We wanted this game to be accessible and enjoyable for players of all ages. The tabletop is designed so that anyone from the age 7 and up could walk up to it and immediately begin interacting with it. Tabletop systems are ideal for public spaces such as museums and classrooms because they are easy to walk up to and start playing. Players can move freely around Futura, exploring different roles and points of view. In our real-time multiplayer game, all players can interact with the game board at once. Players can use both hands to bring up additional information about the different game pieces, and to explore interesting facts about sustainable development. The large interactive horizontal display surface allows each player to see what the other players are doing, and to learn from everyone's choices and interactions. Dragging and touching digital images on the tabletop uses similar interactions to those used in board games and other physical play situations. The size of the display supports many visual elements at the same time. There is room for action bars, global and local feedback, info cards, and the game map, all visible simultaneously for all players. The artwork in Futura is inviting and friendly, and is designed to appeal to players of all ages. The retro cartoon style is clear and humorous, while the large map on the tabletop invites players to touch and interact. The writing in the game has lots of detailed information, which is presented in a fun and easy to understand way. The game, while easy to start playing, is challenging and deep, and rewards attention and repeated play for both children and adults. Futura provides children and adults with a motivating and enjoyable way to explore a difficult and often misunderstood challenge. Developing sustainable urban spaces that provide for our needs without damaging the environment is a complex and important problem.